Good morning, Warren Peacock here. Today's matrix shows us the Australian dollar down 2 points overall, and that would be on the hourly and the 4 hourly charts. The euro is up 2 points, and that was also on the hourly and the 4 hourly charts. A little bit of short term strength coming in there. I would expect further weakness, and we'll just let the charts guide us on that one. The pound with 12, and the US dollar still with score of 18, two down from yesterday. It does leave the US dollar yen as the strongest chart overall. On the daily charts, we can see the pound and the US dollar are the strongest. I left the Swiss franc out on this one because I don't really trade that. And the Japanese yen is the weakest on the daily. On the 4 hourly chart, we saw a change on the weakest. We've got the Australian dollar down as well now. So Aussie dollar and the yen are both weakest, and we've got the US dollar as the strongest. And the hourly charts, we see the Aussie as the weakest, and that volatility just seems to continue. And the Aussie dollar, US dollar is the chart we're going to go and have a look at. We're going to have a look, and we start with the dollar yen. This is quite an interesting one. We've got the triangle breakout occurring over there at the red line. This yellow line is weekly resistance. If we go to a longer term chart, we just zoom out a bit, and we can see previous peak, and that has held the US dollar yen back. We'll see how that works out over the next few days. There's obviously some space for a pullback. It's quite a strong run up it's had there. I think a weekly break and close above that yellow line will see the dollar strength continue against the yen. If we just go down to a smaller time frame, there's no real trading signals on this one at the moment. The big one would be a break above the weekly high, or we're going to see some return to support and then another long signal. The pound yen, similar situation at resistance, just can't seem to hold above that resistance level. The pound is also moving around a bit, so there's no real consistent momentum at this moment in time. The yen is the weakest, so I would expect this to break. If it does, I'll have another go at it. I didn't re-enter yesterday. And if you go to the 4 hourly chart, a little bit of a dark cloud cover at the top there, coming back into that support zone or old resistance zone. So I'm just waiting to see what happens. We go down to the hourly. There might be a trade coming through, but to me, the daily is far more important. I want to see a sustained break above this resistance level. The Australian dollar to the US dollar, and on the 4 hourly chart, you can see that trend has resumed to the downside. We go up a time frame, massively extended downtrend here. It does appear that this little support level hasn't held, and markets approaching it again. I just have to wait and see how this works out. I'm not a big fan of trading this pair at the moment. The Aussie dollar, too much uncertainty. Whether we're going to see US dollar strength continue, I see there's rumblings in the States again that it's going to be a mistake to increase interest rates this year. But we'll have to see what Yellen does at the end of the day. And the Australians are still expected to drop interest rates, but the Australian Reserve Bank is not giving anything away at this point. It was also the weakest chart on the hourly basis, and we can see as that trend extends, I think it's probably gone a little bit far now, but if you are an aggressive trader, if a support line breaks or trend line breaks, you could probably put one in like so. If that does break to the downside, there might be a short-term trade, and then of course if support breaks, there could be a short-term trade. Thank you very much. Chat again on Monday.